This week I'm going to Malta in search of the Maltese national dish, which is a braised rabbit stew finished with fresh cloves, tomato and Mediterranean herbs. And I was new to the island, so I searched by foot, by boat, by land to find the perfect Maltese rabbit stew. Slow cooked and delicious. I ordered it in 5-star hotels. I ordered it in local cafes, even beautiful bays around the island. But each time it was dry, hard and cold. Absolutely gutted. For me, when I go somewhere, my passion for food, I crave that people get it right. I almost feel sorry for the business when it's their national dish, something they should be proud of. Like going to somewhere in the UK where fish and chips is just awful. You want to go there, you want to try it, you're in the country of its origin. You want them to be proud of what they're doing. You want them to take care of their national dish. And when it came out 2 or 3 times, just boiled to death, I was gutted for them. When an animal gives its life to be cooked, to be served to someone, and then they murder it for a second time over, it just breaks my heart. So in this video, I'm gonna try and cook Maltese rabbit stew the best I can to do justice to the dish. And if you're from Malta and you know a good place to get a Maltese rabbit stew, I can't say it, but this is how you spell it, then please let me know. My next trip over there, I'll definitely give it a try. But for now, let's cook Maltese rabbit stew. Okay, let's start breaking down the animal. This is obviously the back legs. And then this here is the saddle, the loin. And then the 2 small legs at the front, just here and here. Then the neck and the head. Here is the liver, the kidneys and the organs, and we're going to keep those for later. I'll tell you why at the end of the video. Now when you're cooking any animal, the golden rule, if the muscle's done a lot of work while the animal was alive, it's going to take longer to cook. So we're going to cut the leg down by the bone, keep the knife steady and then slide it all the way around that central leg bone, just like a chicken. Now do this on both sides, keeping the knife flush with the bone all the way around that central leg bone. And now this is the same with a chicken. You're just going to use a little bit of force and just pop that little socket out, and that's going to separate the leg from the rest of the animal. Now using the knife, just slide that off. And then just repeat the whole process on the other side on the other leg. And now with one big blow, we're just going to take the head off. If you've got any uses for rabbit heads, let me know in the comments. And then now the front legs are nice and easy. Just give it a little pinch. You can just feel where the knife needs to go. Gently use the blade of the knife just to cut under that little wing. It's a bit like a chicken wing on steroids. Loads of meat on this compared to a chicken wing, obviously. And then just chop that off if it's got any resistance. And then as before, we're just going to repeat that on the other side, just leaving you with the rib cage and the saddle of the rabbit. And now another little firm blow. We're just going to cut through that rib cage, just leaving the saddle. You just cut where the meat runs out. I'm just going to tidy that up, and that's your saddle of rabbit just there. And now the legs have done a lot of work, they're going to need a lot of cooking, but the saddle's done no work, so that's going to need a shorter cooking time to keep it nice and moist and not dry. And as rabbit is a very lean meat, not much fat on it at all, we're going to use the French technique of confying to cook the legs, the top legs and the back legs. Now I've heavily seasoned the rabbit legs with salt and pepper, left them for about an hour, and now I'm going to submerge them. You can submerge them in duck fat, we can serve them in a nice veg oil, and now adding loads of aromatic herbs like basil, thyme, just to flavour that oil. Gonna add a bit more ground black pepper in there, just give it a really nice seasoning, about 10 cloves of fresh garlic. And now you just want to push all those ingredients under the oil and place a lid on. Now by submerging all of the ingredients, that's going to stop those herbs, the rabbit and the garlic burning, and then the lid's going to keep that heat in there and that steam. And now for these rabbit legs, I want to cook them nice and gently on a 120 heat for about 2 hours. This low heat is going to cook them nice and gently. And now in a separate pan, I'm going to add some Mediterranean olive oil, 100 grams of smoked pancetta, or you can use smoked bacon. This is going to add more fat to your dish and a smoky flavour. And then 8 cloves of garlic, roughly chopped. And now I'm going to add the rib cage. I've cut it in half, but I'm going to keep it in big chunky pieces so I can lift it out at the end. And by adding the rabbit bones to this pan, you're adding more and more rabbit flavour. And then now I'm going to add 2 whole chopped onions. And just leave that for a little bit, then gently move it around to brown off those bones. Now I'm going to add more basil, more thyme to repeat those flavours that are going on in the legs. And because rabbit's so lean, I'm going to add some more flavour, a 100 gram block of garlic butter, just to help those flavours all merge together. 1 tablespoon of caster sugar, and this is going to help caramelise your vegetables and your rabbit bones, bringing more flavour to the dish. Now next, we want to bulk out this dish with some veg. I've got 1 whole big leek, 4 carrots and 2 sticks of celery diced up nicely. Now we're going to stir this around and help caramelise this in the pan. You can see there the colour's starting to form. Now I'm using a nice fruity red wine, a Rioja in this case, to deglaze the pan. Next in, I'm using some nice homemade chicken stock, or you can use a chicken stock from the supermarket. Both are good. We're going to add this to the pan and then let all those flavours combine and simmer away. It's all about layering up flavour as the dish cooks. Now you can use fresh tomatoes, but in this country they're pretty hard to get a good tomato, so I use a tin of tinned tomatoes, good quality tinned tomatoes, and a good squirt, a good tablespoon of tomato puree, and traditionally a couple of pinches of cloves go in there as well. Next up we're going to add 2 bay leaves. Bay leaves always go in braised dishes, just adds to that flavour. And now we're going to gently mix that round. As when you're cooking anything, taste it as you go along. This was a little bit acidic, so I added another 2 tablespoons of caster sugar and a twist of black pepper. Be careful using salt at this stage because it will reduce and get a lot more salty as it cooks. Now it's been 2 hours, let's check out this juicy, plump confit rabbit. It looks delicious and it smelled amazing as the lid came off with that confit garlic. Look at that, beautifully poached, nice and juicy still. Now a little bit old school, I'm going to turn to potatoes to go into this stew, so the potatoes are going to cook in the casserole as it's cooking. If you want to, just use some new potatoes, cut them in half, and then pop those in for about half an hour to 40 minutes, cooking gently in the stew. Now as it's rabbit, I'm going to pop some nice long carrots in there too.
What's up, Doc?
I'm just thinking Bugs Bunny, so it's a nice way to garnish the rabbit stew once it's finished cooking, but then you're going to need about half an hour. Now for the rabbit loin, you're going to submerge this into the stew for 15 minutes. No simmering, nice gentle poaching, just push that meat under the stew for about 15 minutes, put the lid on and let us slowly cook. Now a traditional way to finish this dish is to take the liver. I'm going to slowly, gently fry that with the confit garlic in a pan, just turning it over just till the liver's cooked. A little bit pink on the inside but cooked through. That confit garlic is now fried, absolutely delicious, is going into the rabbit stew to add more flavour. I'm probing the rabbit loin, using the meat probe is always a great way to do it. You're looking for a 72 degrees, and now I'm going to cut that liver up and just pop that into the rabbit stew. Right, now we're nearly there. The warm, hot, confit rabbit legs are going into the stew with the loin and the potatoes, the carrots, all the other ingredients. It smells incredible. A little bit more olive oil, just want to get some more fat in there. More fresh herbs that we put in earlier just to give it a nice finish. And look at that. That smells delicious, looks delicious. Now traditionally it's served with peas, so I've got some fresh peas in there. I use frozen, I just think they taste better than fresh. They just get frozen straight away, so all that sweetness stays in there and it doesn't turn to starch. Okay, I'm just going to dish up half the rabbit in this bowl. So I'm going to put 1 big leg in there, 1 nice big juicy bit of loin, potatoes, some of the sauce, some of those peas. Oh, look at that. It smells so good. And now bunch some of those carrots together. I'm just going to lay those nicely on top for a nice little garnish. There we go. Perfectly placed. Now to be honest, when I serve a braised dish, I get some of the bay leaves on there, a little drizzle of olive oil at the end, a few more basil leaves just to make it look nice, give it that nice fresh smell of the Mediterranean, top of some of that sauce, serve it with some crusty bread. Look at that. Need I say more? And now for that moment of truth, the taste test. So good. It was so good. I was speechless. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. 10-minute video. If you stay till the end, thank you very much. Drop me any comments, any questions, as always. Where do you come from? Where do you live? What's your national dish? What are you proud of? I'd love to know in the comments. And if you love this video, actually, this is going to be the next video. We are building the Winchester Cookery School. So, not out yet, but when it is, I'll put a link here. Keep your eyes out for the Winchester Cookery School, which we're going to build from scratch. It's going to be a 4-part series, from an empty room to the first cookery lesson. Stay tuned for that. But for now, if you love watching these videos, then check out this video next. At some point, it will be the first Winchester Cookery School video. But until then, check this out.